Hey, Laura J. On day 43 of the 66-day sober somatic self-care practice that I set out to do for myself, to stop smoking weed, to get myself back in a state of alignment with the present, to consolidate all of the ideas that I have been writing on random pieces of paper, get them all together, and to actually birth book two. That's what I did in 2022 as well, when I penned Fully Committed, the Sacred Sojourn of Now in a month. And this one I had intended to have done last year. Except what I realized is that by prioritizing others at my own expense, to do this expose on the legal fiction, how we got here, and how we actually move beyond where we are, it requires not the sacrifice of the one offering that which is being brought together for the benefit of us all, but it must also benefit both. And so I have been in my own patterns and stepping out of patterns that used to dominate me as I began to see how the lack of presence and presence was really keeping me from being able to bring forward that which has taken so much of my energetic resources to get to the point of being able to birth as I will. I will be unpacking the legal fiction and legal of it all, which is the origin story that most haven't heard about. Rubicon River being where Julius Caesar stepped beyond the domain he had claimed to in order to seize what he claimed as his and then made us all his too. And we didn't see it because other stories were told to ensure that we couldn't see the truth of it. And so these are the stories that I am not only unveiling, but I am also saying we will prevail. So long as we see that the illusionary them that has been causing us harm is us when we step into the roles to play a part in what has taken a toll on us all. And bringing forward such a tale has certainly taken a toll on me too. And I'm grateful for all of the lessons that I have learned in the process of getting here, of seeing where I have leaked energy previously so that I can bring it back into me and tell the real story of Rome as not the reality of my empowerment, but the reality of my existence. Not me alone, neither, because when you tell your story as the first person in it, you are telling the real reality of my existence from your perspective. And that's beautiful. There's gold in that. And it's worth more than any gold external to you that you can hold for a time but must release when your soul says, okay, that's enough as this version of me. Let me return to the source that I came from and return to and only feel separate from, while in the illusion of separation that is both illusory and true. Because the reality is that I am separate from you, except I am also connected to you. In this instance, through the medium of the platform that you are receiving this message through, but also the collective consciousness that we are both contributing to. Our energy is part of the antikarana, as some spiritualists would refer to the map of this place, where the lights represent us, our life. And those lights create the blanket that cover the earth, which is heart in a different order. And so when we start to see the ordering of things in relation to us, we start to see that we have been the things that have been put into order by them who we play the roles of in order to act the part for acts are the actions we take, as well as the statutory acts that are created to ensure that our actions are in alignment with that hierarchy of power that is a leadership trellis. A matrix is literally that. We can only climb a corporate ladder if we know all of the positions within it, that whittle down to higher points with fewer people able to fill the positions, which mean that at the top of every corpse you have a name, a named party that holds the position. And if you put the man or woman on notice who is holding that position, they may retire or change roles so that they are not liable in the way that they were when named as the one holding that office. But the reality is that the soul brings forward the debts that are accrued between us who are living. Debts are the double entry booking trust system, where we have trusted the wrong sources, externalized our power, and believed in sources as the source of life. But energy cannot be coined or capitalized on unless specified and taken from the all that all energy comes from to say that it is only this specifically that we are referring to. That separation is how we receive our individuation. And it's through nation states and the Asians as suffixes that actually bring something mental in nature into form, physically. And this is where manifestation comes in. This is where egregores and paradigms and belief systems come in. This is where trees are created with big ideas at the top that are studied and then called ideologies that have ideological state apparatuses and repressive state apparatuses under those, and then corporations under that, as the way that we come into all of it in a corporate realm that we get paid to play in. Or we have to pay because those being paid to play in it charge us for something. And if we don't understand the difference between being in control versus being in charge of our whole self, our being, our essence, well, we will pay many fees indeed. And this is what we need not do if we can see that we are them when playing the roles, which is precisely what I'll be telling the tale of in a way that is practical. That as I called for and fully committed the sacred sojourn of now, we are both accountable, liable, and responsible for our actions. Our choice to act in certain ways or not act in certain ways. These choices have consequences. And when we are actually in tune with our soul, we can sing a soul song that has never been heard before, that we came here to offer. And others cannot give us permission to do the mission our soul came here to do. And many will resent the fact that we have a conviction to do the very thing that they are convinced will not work. And we do it anyway, because it matters to our soul for us to take the soul fragments off the shelf that have been placed outside of ourselves because we didn't get something finished. Because we took on the bad advice of those who added advice to our life because they weren't nice and we took it personally. And then our person stopped being an ally and was used against us, not just in courts of law, but in the inner circles of trust that maybe we've surrounded ourselves with that weren't worthy of the trust bestowed on those we let in. Which is where it comes back to the in-act, and whether you're in fact, or out of the know. Because the gnosis of the knowledge that has been used to entrap souls by bringing us into soul corporates, which are the counterfeit version of what is real and whole, our soul. You just gotta breathe. Get ourselves back in our body. Remember, the body keeps score, which is why soma in Greek actually referred to the living body. And the corporeal world, or the corporate realm, are based on a dead body. And why we, the people, which is a fallacy, for we, comma, the people, in quotation marks, is a specified version of we who are the people that don't all fit into that. So that's a wrap, because I got a call coming in. I want to know what this means to and for you. So leave a comment down below and let me know.